The world is changing and the boys don't cry mentality is changing a lot.
The book overall is about emotions at work, which is a hot topic when we bring in a gender component as well. When we think about emotional and work, women tend to come up. How did that show up in the research that you guys did for the book?
The way that showed up in the book, when we think about gender, is we realized that the modern workplace was designed by men for men, and that is now changing. And men just biologically tend to express their emotions a little bit less. Also, culturally, there's this boys don't cry mentality that I think a lot of men felt like showing vulnerability in the workplace was a sense of weakness. But in the last couple decades, that's changed a lot, and we need everyone at work, leaders, men, women, to show a little bit more vulnerability and authenticity. That's what we're looking for from other people, is to bring their full selves to work. So that's changing. I think we're still not quite there yet, and I think women have to be aware of the dynamics that are left over from the workplace that was designed by men. Oftentimes in teams, men still talk over women, and a strategy that we talk about in the book is amplifying voices. So this was a strategy that the women who worked for President Obama used. And every time a woman said something, another woman would say, I'm gonna back her up. I'm gonna say, did you hear what Liz said? I think she made a really important point. If that didn't happen, then a man would take credit for it. It also shows up in leadership styles. So unfortunately, the research shows that women who are leaders, they can't win. They're either a bitch or a bimbo is a line, is a quote from the book. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't express their emotions. They just have to be more aware of how they're coming across.
So what would be your advice for men who read your book, they wanna bring their whole self to work, be authentic? How would you advise them to do that?
We give an example in the book. Howard Schultz, when he came back to Starbucks in 2008, he gave an example in the book, our company, and he started crying. And it wasn't like, oh no, he can't lead the company. It was, this is a really emotional moment, and it's actually natural for him to show emotions, that he's being a human. Now, that being said, he did provide a path forward. So he said, I know that the company is in a tough time right now. Here's what we're gonna do so that we don't have more layoffs in the future. So it's pairing that emotion, being selectively vulnerable about that with a path forward or what you're gonna do about it next.